When you get to Google Classroom, click on Classwork. The internet is very slow today. So click on Classwork up at the top. Then click on Graphing with Google. Are we there? And when you click on Graphing with Google, click on the link and it'll open a document that looks like this. Is everybody there? We're going to walk through part of this together. That's why we're going to walk through it together. It's going to be okay. So, is everybody on this part? First thing I need you to do is fix here. Are these showing up for you, these numbers?
No.
Okay, so they were supposed to be there. But basically, all we're doing is pulling this data down and making a smaller table. So in this column, I'm going to call it the numbers, just type them going down. Go to table 2, the pH column. So you're in box A12. Type in 3. And hit enter. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Does everybody have these put in? Those are already supposed to be there for you, so we're just fixing it. I don't know where they're going. So now these are directions that tell us how to insert some formulas, how to calculate averages. I don't want you to use a calculator and calculate an average. I don't want you to copy it from your friend. I want you to put the actual formula in. So we're going to do it together to get y'all started. So we want to click on this square because we want to calculate the average for pH 3. You with me so far? Mm-hmm. So click on the square and then go up, see the sigma or the crazy E? If you don't see the sigma or the crazy E, you probably have 3 little dots. Click on the 3 dots and it'll show it to you. Click on that and it'll bring all of these different formulas you can put in. Click on average and it should put that in the square. Everybody with me so far? And it should have your cursor between these parentheses. Highlight the numbers that we want to average. Once you've highlighted them, hit enter. And it calculated it for you. Now, there's a couple of options. The directions tell you to hit copy, and then you can paste it into these, and it will automatically adjust the formula. Your Chromebook probably asked you to autofill. You can hit autofill. Notice it's not the same numbers because it's adjusting the formula to give you the average for the numbers going across from it. So I have 3.5 in the first block,
I got 3.6.
in the next one, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an average of a different numbers. It's automatically adjusting and calculating it for you. So everybody go to pH 3 at time of 4 minutes. There's a 4 in the box. Change it to 10 and see what happens.
It didn't change for you, bro.
I'm gonna hit enter.
So when you changed it, what happened to your average? It changed. So why do I want you to learn how to do the formulas? Because what if you mistyped it and then you added them all up and then you wrote the average, you recorded the average in there and then you realized you wrote one of them wrong? Then you have to go recalculate it, but now you just fix it and it changes, right? Okay. So,
Do we
What-
put it back to 4 or leave it at 2?
no, put it back to 4.
Oh.
Now go ahead, put it back to 4. So once you have that done, if you look, I can click on this and it shows me, that's the formula I have in there. Do y'all see the formula up in the cell? So like if I click here, it says I am calculating the average of these cells. So now if I look at step 3, it tells us in B12, type equal G3. So N12, B12, I have it highlighted on there. Type equal G3.
Wait, how is that D?
Oh, they do have option to do it automatically.
Do I do capital?
Equal G, capital G, sure.
It is 3.5.
Yes, what's supposed to
Wait, because.
Autofill or you got it, that's fine, you can do it that way too, as long as the formula's there. All right, so you hit equals G3, what showed up? 3.5, so now go change pH3 4 minutes, go change it back to 10 again.
Mine is not working.
Change pH3, not E4, pH3 at 4 minutes, change it to 10.
Oh, there we go.
What changed? What
So what happened to the number in the new table?
changed?
If you want to use autofill, you can. If not, you can type in the formula or copy and paste. But so if I change this one to 10, it adjusts the average, but it also adjusts it down here. Is everybody there? If you're there, answer the questions that have and type your answer in the blue box. It's referring to table 2. Then follow the directions for making a graph.
Big question. What should be your
It doesn't have to watch. So you get the formula here. Control copy.
I feel like quick connection in this, obviously, but.
So you're answering these 2 questions based on this table. What would you put on the x-axis? What would you put on the y-axis? Then you're going to follow these directions to create a graph. Table 2.
Well, how do you clear a line?
How about here? You can't even copy. And the way you get that, two fingers separated, right up, and paste. And how that gets this. 2 fingers paste.
I'm clicking. What are you doing? Uh-oh.
Once you create your graph, make sure you have an appropriate title. If you can't get the graph to show up, let me know.
I said 11.
Wait.
Yes, they were asked, I said, well, number keys.
Yes, family. No, you should have a clip like I said.
Is that all you need?
No.
So if you've got your graph, keep going. If you didn't get your graph, you're gonna go here and you're gonna highlight from A11 through B17. Then click the bar graph button. You see the button that looks like a bar graph up here? You'll click that. It takes a minute, but then it creates a graph for you. Now we want a line graph, but if we had wanted a bar graph, we could have chosen bar graph. But we wanted a line graph. And then you can go to customize. And you can change the title. This is not necessarily the greatest title, but whatever you want. You change the title, type it right here. If I want to change my horizontal x-axis, if it's not labeled correctly or I needed to add units, I can click. Under here, it's a drop down, and you can choose where you want to change the titles and retype them. If you were going to add a legend, you could create a legend here. If you wanted the color to be different, you could change the color of it. Questions on the graph?
I have them.
Okay, I'm gonna come help you. Make sure when you're done with your graph, you move it so that it's not covering any of your data. Then you're gonna do the challenge. Click on the bottom tab, it says substrate concentration. And there's a whole new tab, and you're gonna use this data to create a graph with 2 lines on it. When you're finished, you'll submit your work to Google Classroom, but make sure you do both the pH and the substrate concentration tab first.